Let me shut the door and we can rotate. And you got 30 minutes, plenty of time.
Okay, we'll see how far it goes. Oh, hold it. What's in here?
Oh my God, there's a bear out there.
Okay. Now I don't move. Now, okay. Okay.
Great shot.
Now we got it.
Dang near limbo. I really like
Hmm?
that.
Just stop for a minute. Just stop for a few seconds and then go on. Okay, fine. Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. And inform Dale, will you? Not to
Okay.
make any noises or walk
He's
heavy.
rolling. I'm ready. This is cool.
He's not going to make noise. Okay. Just once in a lifetime. A love letter to the performers in the arts. If you will, imagine a coffee table set up, 2 chairs, star sequins on black velvet backdrop, man sitting on table, his back to the audience. Man turns after the music is identified, faces the audience, starts to sing, then smiles and says, I know what you're thinking. You're all thinking, oh my God, is he going to try to sing that song? Especially after Anthony Newley just came through town and did the whole show. Well, okay, don't worry. Hey, just relax, folks. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not even going to sing Mammy, but it's the theme of what I'm going to try to say. Just once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment. One wonderful moment when fate takes his hand, and though it may be just once in a lifetime, I'm gonna do great things. Yeah. I remember sitting in a coffee shop in Los Angeles, remembering a time I was in a coffee shop in New York singing that song. And while I was singing, I recall that in New York, I was reflecting on a time when I was in Houston, years before, in a coffee shop very much wanting to sing that song. What? Why coffee shops? Well, that's all a theater bum could afford in those days. Same now. You know, maybe that's why we were all so jittery and emotional then. It really wasn't the booze and the dope, it was just the caffeine and all that coffee. Well, who knows, maybe it could be. Anyway, I remember saying so many years ago in a little theater on Chelsea Boulevard, with the name on the marquee, Theater Incorporated. We called it Theater Inc. for short. Yeah, I remember in that theater that I was thinking, you'll never sing that song, Jerry. Now, wait a minute, it hasn't been so many years ago. But that's what they say. You know, them? Talking about the others. The ones on the outside of this wonder workshop that we're a part of, called theater. No, it wasn't so long ago. It was, let me think, how would I say it? It was only a ship sailing out half a heartbeat ago. Only 2 breaths on the wind of time. Yesterday. You know what I'm talking about? You see, that's our time I'm talking about, in this land where we are fully alive. They call it make-believe. They call it memory. They call it overblown imagination. But we know it's a secret land that only those with the key ever gain access to, and you must keep that key handy and shiny and safe, or the world as they know it will steal it from you. They'll say it doesn't even exist. It isn't a key to anything at all. And they would convince us to put away the key, walk away from the shining gates that open onto that secret garden grown over with cool green ivy. They say we have an affliction called childhood, which we must outgrow. And if we don't outgrow it, the affliction turns rapidly into a madness called not fitting in-itis. Or something else that they can diagnose and label and prescribe for to be gotten rid of as soon as possible, hopefully before your money runs out. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, now, I suppose all of us have either gone through or are still going through dealing and coping with the balance between this fine madness and normality. I don't have a lot of coping with that word. So I said to myself, maybe I don't understand it as well. Jerry, why don't you just look it up? So I got a dictionary. I swear to God. You want to hear what normal means? Listen to this. Normal. According to the rules. Okay? It's another name for elementary condition. Actually, nor is a conjunction. I mean, that's a funny way to start a word, isn't it? A conjunction that means and not. Or if you have a New York accent, it's likewise neither. Or either, you know. But listen to the second part of the word. It's mal. That signifies ill or evil. It also means storm. First, let's put it together. You get malaise. That's a vague feeling of uneasiness that's a precursor of a disease. And then maybe you have a malady. Now, that's a special, deep-rooted, lingering disorder, either mental or physical. So in that case, about this time, I began to wonder what the hell Malaya meant. What is that, an island with a vague feeling of uneasiness in front of a disease with storms? It made perfect sense to me after the definition. Maybe so. I mean, it's a lot of diseases over there, particularly malaria. Now, malaria, yeah, there. You know what that is? That's a noxious infection-producing fever. Mal also means a storm in the brain just prior to loss of ego consciousness. Huh? I mean, so far, normal isn't making the top 10 as a word, is it? It just seems to mean no more brainstorms, no more stormy weather, just placid seas. But I like the wind, and I like the rain coming down in torrents on the side of a house or on the rooftops. Sometimes I like the storms at sea, because I think they're exhilarating. So, anyway, let's see. Normal, by definition, really means just this side of being ill or evil or crazy or stormy. No more storms, okay? Well, I'd like to add a couple of things. No more dreams. No more heroes. No more glory. Oh, but don't get me wrong now. I mean, hey, don't you get me wrong now. No, I'm not knocking it just because I haven't tried it lately. Normal's fine, I'm sure. It's okay. I mean, for sure. It's the calm at the center of the hurricane of our total energy, you see? But it isn't the center of the possible human that you could be. Normal's fine. But to be locked inside that tiny, limited circle with its superficial definition of reality, afraid to step outside those tight little boundaries of beingness. Oh, well. In that case, just who is the mad one, then? Anyway, perhaps that's why they need us so. They need the comics, the clowns, the guys and dolls of the blood-curdling trapeze and high-wire acts, the flaming fall guys that do the stunts, and those singers. Don't forget those, the ones with the high C that lifts the hair right off your skin, makes goosebumps explode upward. Yeah, they need to know somebody can take it right out the top, that some of us are going for it. But you see, that's not normal, right? No, that would be abnormal, or wait, super normal. No, that's not right either. It's neither one of those, and necessarily it's extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's the word. Extraordinary. Oh, I like that word. Hey, that reminds me, there's another word making the rounds today. It's called excellence. Sells a lot of books. But it just occurred to me, there have been so many wordsmiths that sold their soul for a song and danced to big business that have been using superlatives to describe mediocrity in our country, mediocre service, mediocre product, mediocre abilities. Now, we might not really believe it when the real thing comes along. I mean, we haven't seen a real superlative in an awfully long time. That's because it's rare. It belongs in that category extraordinaire. Well, anyway, I remember sitting in that coffee shop somewhere. It was either L.A., New York, or Houston, and I was writing something, as usual, and I looked down at it, and I realized I didn't know what it was. I mean, really, I didn't know if it was prose or a poem or a musical or a formula for new cheesecake. So I began thinking right there, Jerry, you are crazy. I mean crazy. But knowing at the same time that doing this kind of work somehow keeps me happy and fulfilled, and somehow I believe it's more meaningful, truly, than something else a buddy of mine was asking me to do that week. Yeah, he wanted me to learn sales dialogue about the Better Bite computer company that counts mosquito bites per square micromillimeter lured by a bit of better batter somebody put together with a per annum return escalated and arbitrarily amortized in the bank of the week that's still alive and well. Thank you. And then attack and convince some poor soul that this computer program is better because it's digital with laser light coherence, mainframe easy, network capable, and user-friendly, whose mechanical voice actually sounds sincere when it says, "Thank you." Oh, God. Yeah. Jesus Christ. What? Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I was writing this thing, and I guess it's a musical. It's based on Walter Benton's classical underground work called My Beloved. It's a modern love story. You'd love it. See, well, at least it was modern back in the 50s. It's set on Manhattan rooftops, and it jumps back and forth across the East River to Jersey. Yeah, it's nitty-gritty, but it ain't dirty, and that in itself was something very remarkable. It appealed to me. He was an honest writer, but he didn't give you too much anxiety. Maybe that's because in the 50s it was still possible to believe that love was real. Anyway, he was poetical with the typical sad ending. But I decided, feeling in a good mood that day, why not extend that ending and get everybody back together again? So I began to write, and I said it in New York, and I said if they do get back together, when I'm finished, I'm going to call this Reunion. And lo and behold, that's what I walked right into here in Houston. A wonderful get-together, wonderful reunion with a wonderful musical evening that's just unforgettable, not only because it's on tape now, but because the original evening is in the Hall of Fame of our collective memory right now, and it'll always be there. It was great to realize everybody could still knock it out with the best of them, to see that they still had that rare quality. Extraordinaire. It was exciting, you bet. It was fantastic. It was dynamite. For you see, we are the elite members of the very elect. Although it's true that some of our members have entered the political arena of election, they were elected yesterday, they're elected today, possibly they won't be elected tomorrow, but I'm not talking about that type of election. No, we deal with the echoes of creation, and we search for the footprints of God in the universe and inside ourselves. Some of our collective essence went into spin-offs of their own, and they're still going strong with a good career. True, some are on reruns and on the Late, Late, Late show, and some of us are on batteries. A few of us are on oxygen, I hear. But anyway, we live on, see? As this special, special group. United, we can share the spirit that flowed through the great directors and artists, actors and musicians of all time. The ballerinas, the prima donnas, the prince and princess of the theater, la bella teatro. We are the diamond in the crown of the god of art who reigns on the eternal stage of life itself. While its petty wars, newsworthy scandals, domestic squabbles are mere background static in that stately procession of order, truth, and beauty that exists beneath all of our storms. We're the storytellers. We're not the cripples the world would have us believe due to keeping the child inside alive and well. Oh, no. We're the lights. We're the splendor still shining in the ruins. We're the power behind all thrones. We are the dreamers of dreams, and dreams are forever, because they come from beyond that final curtain and are told through us. We, the artists in all fields, tell the grand stories written by the divine comedian who can turn even tragedy into meaning and substance, but the culmination for manifesting those perfect moments that give rise to an audience standing on its feet in an ovation. Now that remains for us, the performing artists, and for us alone to do. Those of us who sculpt with space and time, whose medium is light and drama, sound and music. We hold in our hands for one brief shining moment a Camelot of could-be's. We trace the moving finger of destiny in the high frivolity of kismet. We walk through the mists of time into a magical, legendary brigadoon. Or get a second chance to make it all come out right in Carousel. Or perhaps it's the dignity of a perfect death in the last act of The King and I. Or the perfection of the soul through enormous trials and glorious victories and the pain of a lifetime with Cyrano de Bergerac and his Roxanne. We're the way-showers, and we shape the destiny of worlds. Yeah, well, there's a good definition going around now recently that the opposite of love is not hate, but it's fear. So I looked at the masks of drama and comedy hung there together as being two parts of the same coin. The tragedy side shows our fears of the lack of love, the loss of love, the rejection of love, the despondency, depression from the fear that no love will ever come again. Okay, then you flip the coin and you find comedy on the other side. In all its forms, from slapstick's heyday and burlesque to the great stage clowns of vaudeville and their witty dialogue that cuts through our over-seriousness to expose the absurdity of life and reassure us, hey, things just ain't that bad, pal. Through the trials of radio's weekly episodes to overrunning TV sitcoms that we love, comedy survives. That glowing spirit of laughter shows us that the good feeling of acceptance and all rightness, which is the sunlight of love's presence anyway, never really left us. It was merely hidden by a passing cloud of depression or maybe temporary tears. That happy mask indicates the presence of love, which is the foundation the whole self rests upon. Love. It holds business together through hard times of doubt and restructuring like we're going through right now. This is the basis of acceptance that allows that wonderful substance called creativity to flow. And creativity is the saving grace of any human endeavor. It is the integral part needed in our world today. If I ever had anything to say, it would be that. However, it takes a discerning look and a feel to see and perceive that. But I believe to acquire that viewpoint is the major maturing factor in a person's life as he grows into wisdom. Okay, so all of us are on the path to being wise guys. I got you. However, some take many times around the park to do it, right? Or they circle the landing field twice or perhaps 2 or 3 times. Some of them even detour to LAX instead of coming in at Love Field, Dallas. Get it? Some of us walk up the stairs, others take the escalator, a few have an elevator ride to the top, some take the express train downtown. I got you. But we are all on the way to that great discovery, the revelation of our inner nature, which is the other commandment in theater, besides to entertain. And with that, the recognition that others share very similar feelings, desires, disappointments, needs, and dreams, and a simple little thought that they're all wanting to be loved and liked just like us. So, you, I, we in the performing arts who deal with the human emotions, sensations, and feelings as other artists mold clay or brush paint on a canvas, learned at an early age to transcend the material and to elevate the medium, to strive to create that illuminating brilliance we call genius. And in doing that, we learn to look underneath the words at the implied thought, to read between the lines for the intended emotional needs. Same as a painter has learned along with that simple painting of a bowl of fruit, a pair of shoes, a boulevard in France, a field of sunflowers, a rehearsal for the ballet, or a nightclub crowd in a can-can cabaret in Paris, France. They learn to add the inner perception, the feelings, the attitude that he or she had during the moment of inspiration, until that painting becomes not only a representation of something, I mean shoes or sunflowers, but it's an expression of the inner moments of personal experience that happens simultaneously with that external event. One can't live fully without the other. You understand what I'm saying? Both. Makes that frozen moment of time, that still picture, come alive. Live. Jazz musicians play between the notes. I mean, they capture us, baby. Yeah, you know what I mean. They spellbind our hearts with spontaneity. Now you take dancers. Now they add the force of their personality to propel music beyond mere choreography into a personal involvement with the music, their fellow dancers, and then they impel that love outward to touch an audience's heart. And at that moment, identification occurs, or rapport is attained, and the mantle of charisma falls gently around the giver of the moment, as presence is felt throughout the hall. We call that art. What is it? Oh, yes. Oh, you're quite right, madam, yes. Yes, I know. No, we do memorize the lines ahead of time, yes. Yes, we memorized the lines, and we rehearsed and rehearsed. And sometimes it couldn't be worse, you got that? Okay, but we excel, see? Yes, it was written down, but we transcended it. We edited in order to be sure to eliminate any random motion, simplify entanglements, and get the objective right, and strengthen things, and have a good obstacle, and clarify the units, and all that. But we recreate life, moved by passion into artistic expression. Life, that's more than life, not less. Life as it could be, the goal to go for, a star to reach for. I mean, that's what theater really is. And that's what we've been trained to do. To look beyond the obvious, to peer beyond the beyond, a sense that just around the corner, something great. Or come live with me. Be my love. The best is yet to be. Or, do you see what I'm saying? To predict and to expect a miracle during every rehearsal, every single performance, and so many times the miracle will appear, and then we've created an effect, which is the highest purpose of the universe anyway. That's right. To create an effect is the highest purpose in the universe. All right, look, right now, couple this with this particular definition of art that I had. Listen, art is the technical expertise sufficient to produce emotional impact on the viewer. All right, again. Art is the technical expertise sufficient to produce emotional impact on the viewer. Okay, you put those two together and you can come close to realizing who I think we really are, what we were meant to be, and all that we might become. Yes, madam? Yes, indeed. No, I'm quite aware of all our imperfections. Thank you so much. Yes, to be sure. In fact, there's an unfinished symphony by Schubert. And the final chapters are missing from O'Neill's last play. Oh, then there's that monumental work to provide a unified formula for all matter, G, energy, space, and blow that, forget that. Okay. Yeah, to be sure, there's an unfinished symphony by Schubert. And the final chapters are missing from O'Neill's last play. You're right. Hey, how about there's that monumental work to provide a unified formula for all matter, energy, space, and time in the universe that Einstein tried to tie into a neat little package, and a little bow on top, you know, but he left it incomplete. You're right. Yeah, all unfinished. But their incompleteness is not the full story, for in that they also point the way toward completions yet to come. a completion that their creators saw gleaming in the future yet to be. These, like each one of us, is a work still in progress. What I'm trying to say is, hey, gang, we ain't finished yet. I mean, some of us may be down, Molly, but we ain't out. And even at the end of the run, we're not at the end. And let those that have ears to hear listen to this. We're merely in between shows, because each one of us is a miracle waiting for new birth, and I'm sure we'll be listening for our cue to walk to center stage in the light of a new day, where we can once again fight the good fight, strive to make our lives an art form. For I believe both of these, life and art, will meet in the grand galaxy of the performing arts in some heaven somewhere, some when. And whatever you do, remember it's not over till the fat lady sinks, okay? And even then, I got news for you. I have word that the great composer has a new galley-proof waiting in the wings. So, I salute us. We, the players on the great arena called Earth, performers at the Circus Maximus, where every exit is just another entrance, and where the desired holy grail of love is attained by realizing that you already possess it. And when you give it, you receive it tenfold and more in return. Well, that's what we did. We gave our full measure of devotion. And all we really wanted in return was their love. What we did for love, what we did. Indeed. In this world without end, where each sunset is merely the beginning of the dawn, we are the immortals, because we wield the living lightning of our very souls to shape this craft. So right now, arise, my friends. Know it and walk tall. We learned to do the impossible as a matter of course. We learned to make something out of nothing, and we did it together as our finest endeavor. There was one last word. Now, wait a minute. I just want to clarify it, okay, if I may. Glory. Glory. It is exaltation, to raise in honor and dignity, to magnify and brighten into splendor, to give distinction and renown. Glory, a feeling of divine presence and the purported light surrounding the head of a saint that some sensitive beings have said that they could see. And that's what we've done in this reunion, in essence, to glorify those that started us on the way and all our comrades along the path. I want to tell you, I've had the pleasure of standing in that light several times in this sojourn upon the earth, but none were so indelible in my memory as the moments I shared in the presence of some of the true superwomen of our time during my formative years of life. Let me just tell you for a moment. My first acting teacher at Lamar High was that distinguished lady, Ruth Denny. She treated her students as adults and expected the same quality in our work. Among many of the class were Jocelyn Smith, Robert Foxworth, Tommy Toon, Lisa Hartman. I share that distinction with them. Zula Pearson was my next director, who was so dedicated to high standards that professionals from Broadway were attracted to the little Lon Morris Junior College in the hills of East Texas. She instilled in me the realization theater wasn't frivolous and it should be done exceedingly well. Then there was Minerva Black, Houston's hostess with the mostess, and she was next in my life as a private coach. She showed me that if something's worth doing, well, then it's worth doing well. And all along, she said, keep at it. But Miss Denny said, keep looking for the expanding horizons in this elusive profession. About that time, I hit 4 legends in a row. Nina Vance at the Alley Theater, Zelda Fishlander at the Arena in D.C., and Margot Jones and Uta Hagen in New York.
Sorry to stop it, we're in okay.
Okay,
It's 30
okay.
minutes and it doesn't have no more. We'll have to put on another reel and we can pick up the back of a paragraph or so and splice it together, but that's...
Oh, well, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, do we have any more?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there's only one more.
Ready, anytime you are.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm just going to back up a little bit. Is that okay? Could I?
I need you from Miss Denny.
Oh, which one?
Miss
Let's see,
Denny
which.
said,
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah, get back
Okay. Okay, okay.
Mrs. Denny.
Okay.
Of Denny's and Denny's and Denny's.
Okay. Okay, we ready? Okay. And all along the way, Miss Denny pointed out the expanding horizons in this elusive profession. Then I hit 4 legends in a row. Nina Vance at the Alley Theater, Zelda Fishlander at the Arena in D.C., Margot Jones and Uta Hagen in New York. Then during a depressed period, there came a lady in my life who gave me a second chance to be the best of Jerry. It was Marietta Merrick, best little singing director in Texas. She introduced me to the music with a heart from America's great musical comedy tradition and taught me that a song is lyrics and feelings first and that the subtext underneath was major. But it was Johnny George that gave me my start, who boosted, encouraged me to study, and who suffered through my ego trips and supported my emotional maturing. But Miss Denny said, "You've got the makings of a professional, why don't you go for it?" They all had certain qualities in common: drive, courage to risk, pioneer spirit, great beauty, intuitive sense in the extreme. But I must say that the lady that inspired me the most to continue, who postulated for me I could be the best I possibly could and then continually reach down inside to be better, her name was Johnny George. I'm sure every one of us has similar moments enshrined in their memory of the teachers that took them by the hand and led them out on the stage into the light. And Johnny's feminine nature walked hand in hand with enormous strength, and under pressure and fire maintained itself intact to the end. Yes, she passed away a little while ago, leaving behind that great legacy. All of us, that's how we got together. Through that person, magnetism, that organized Theater Inc. Well, so that's what we've done tonight. We've glorified, unashamedly, unabashed. So, I say once more, salute. One for all for one. We at Theater Inc. learned that the show must go on, and it did, and it will go on and on and on. For we are all becoming, unfolding, and expanding into what we were meant to be. So keep looking for the connecting link, and you'll find it. There is a super objective in the roles we play here. There's a theme in the author's mind, a silver thread throughout this sorry scheme of things, where we can glimpse the meaning from time to time entire. So take heart, my beloved friends. There is a purpose behind it all. And even if there wasn't, what we shared of creation's fire is life at its best. It was our shining hour, and that alone has been worth the price of admission. So to wrap it up, gang, that's what I learned at the academy called theater. To reach for the stars and attain some measure of excellence. That I did, for I had the pleasure of your company along the way, and I have attained a measure of greatness in the doing of same. So you can sneak the theme in under now. Slowly bring it up to full. Yes. Once more the game's afoot. The play's the thing. And you know, the show must go on. So this is not goodbye, this is not finito, it's avante. We've had a great once-in-a-lifetime reunion, but you remember now each performance has to happen for the first time, and every moment is new. So come forward and move to center. Wrong. Okay, we start after each moment is new. So come forward to center and into the light. Our love for one another will live forever. Bad. Cut. Stupid, I'm looking at this thing. That's what's so stupid about it. And each moment is new. So come forward to center and into the light. Our love for one another will live forever. And all my love is yours. Humbly tendered as a gift to all the performers in the arts, from Jerry Delony, actor, human being, Austin, USA, planet Earth, star system Sol, on the edge of a galaxy known as the Milky Way, swirling somewhere off into infinity. Half a heartbeat ago. On the winds of time, yesterday. I think that's enough. Maybe. Just maybe there's enough in it.